Welcome to That's My Biz, the Internet Business Showcase, where we bring exposure to products, services, and special causes of local businesses and organizations. Thank you so much for joining us. We are coming to you live from the BizLinks TV studio. Brought to you by Southeast Computers, repairs, upgrades, custom builds, and restorations. SoutheastComputersATL.com. Hi everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander, and welcome to another episode of That's My Biz. As always, we enjoy bringing to you the wonderful businesses, nonprofits, and associations that we meet when we're out there networking, because we want you to know all about them so that you're able to reach out to them and take advantage of the wonderful services that they have to offer. We want to remind you that you can check out this episode again at www.bizlinks.tv. Also go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/bizlinkstv. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to give us some thumbs up, and don't forget to provide some comments as well. Also, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/bizlinkstv. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to our guest, Mr. Barron Williams. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, he is with the GilWil Group Incorporated, and he just has 40 years of just professional experience in information technology sales to Fortune 500 companies and government as well. And then he provides managed services and cloud services to government agencies and business customers. So we're going to have a good time with this one because we get to talk a little bit of technology, which you all know I enjoy doing. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, tell us, how did you get GilWil Group started in the first place?
I started a GilWil Group. I initially had two IT companies. One was a company that sold primarily hardware and software.
Mm-hmm.
The GilWil Group was established to provide IT services.
Okay.
At the time, local area network services, programming, we called it connectivity, that kinds of things, routers and that kind of stuff. I evolved in everything into GilWil Group, and it's been our focus probably the last 20 years is concentrating on IT services rather than hardware and software, that kind of thing.
Okay, okay. I love that, because now I know your company has received a lot of accolades as well as some awards with being the top 10 vendor with various companies like AT&T and IBM, top 100 vendors. Congratulations on all of those. That's not an easy feat when you're especially talking about these large, influential companies in technology. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes through the years with that. Kind of first tell me how you transitioned into it becoming your own business, or deciding to do your own business.
My training at IBM, really, I thought it was an MBA course. It was incredible training about selling, getting customers what they needed, and I just figured I really enjoyed that whole process of meeting prospects and developing relationships with them when they became my customer, and taking care of their needs, sometimes above and beyond IT, but I just enjoyed it. And I realized after moving to Atlanta from St. Louis and working for another IT company, I realized I wanted to work for myself. I just, something about being able to, as I call it, run my own parade appealed to me. And I resigned my job at my last company before I started my own company. I resigned my job and started my company with $500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That right there, and one thing we love to share on this show is how businesses can do it, and hearing these great stories. So being able to start, it doesn't take a lot to start up many of the small businesses and to grow them. So we definitely want to get into how you've grown your company as well. But one of the first things, tell me, what makes your company different than some of the other companies that do similar work?
I like to think a few things. I like to think that we have a passion for our business. By that I mean, I tell our folks that whenever a customer calls, my mentality is that we're to do whatever we can do legally and ethically to help them resolve whatever issue they have. And I think customers appreciate that. I feel we have we're very bottom line. We have an attitude about getting things done that I think a lot of folks have appreciate it, at least. And to me, it's just the way we should do business. And my parents' upbringing, they taught us to always treat folks like you want to be treated. And So I try to do that with all my customers. I ask myself, if I have a problem with this and I want to get it resolved, do I want to be on hold for 3 days? Do I want somebody to come and help me now? Do I want it taken care of now? So I want to treat them the same way.
Right.
So it's kind of it's a lot of common sense stuff to me. You just treat people like you want to be treated, have a passion for your work, take care of folks, and I think everything else kind of takes care of itself almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good business. So you all have that that information, definitely some words to live by with. Just enjoy what you do it well, have that passion for it, treat your customers like you would want to be treated, or even better, how you'd want your mother or parents to be treated, right?
Right.
And it'll all fall in place, and just stay the course with that. Now, so you offer managed services as well as cloud services. Talk a little bit more specifics on what those services are all about.
And that's kind of and it's continuing to evolve. And I think back when I started, we sold many computers and stuff at IBM, and now smartphones and tablets are as powerful in a lot of ways as a $1 million mini computer back then. So the technology has just gone through the roof in terms of cost versus functionality. We have with managed services and cloud, we do everything for customers from allowing them to place their servers at a data center if they like to. They can have their own people come and manage it. We can have it managed. They can do a hybrid of those. They can rent space in there, and I mean, there's all kind of options as far as that goes. We can provide all kinds of services related to cloud and managed service. We can provide hardware. Instead of them buying hardware, we can put hardware in there for them, and they're paying a monthly fee for the hardware, the application, on everything. We will manage the whole thing for them, and it just really gets down to a customer's focus, where they want to put their attention at. If that's on, they want their IT to be outsourced, if you will, we can come in and manage it and take care of all of it. And the cloud just allows them to get to their data no matter where they are. As long as they get to via the internet, they can access their data. So there are a lot of incredible services, and we're now more mobile stuff with that we're providing too, because the phones are again as generic as more so, I think, as in computers now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So now with the managed services, or with having the computers that you put into data centers, for example, now is the reason for doing that for a company because they don't have the space or where their company is, or because that system is already kind of set up to handle all of that? Why would a company want to put their computers somewhere else?
That's a good question, and the reasons are going to be varied. We're partners with a company that's I think they have the second largest data center in the whole world. They have security in place that is mind-boggling. I mean, eye recognition and all kinds of things. The one reason people might do it would be because of security. Your servers are in a place where the power goes down, their backup systems in terms of electricity and power to keep everything up. There's the data is being constantly sent to the cloud and backed up. So if that data center blows up, which is just almost unfathomable, if it were to happen, the data is again stored another place, so you can get your data and keep working. So there are all kinds of reasons that folks will do it. Some just don't want to incur the cost of creating their own data center because it's a very expensive proposition to get a building, get it wired, get all the air conditioning done, all the things you got to get done, security, all the other issues you got to get done, and then find the people to come there every day and manage everything. So it's a major expense, and a lot of them say, if I can just pay for X dollars a month, and also some of this stuff is they can write it off their earnings because it's like a monthly lease payment versus a capital expense every year. So there are varied reasons, and depending on who you talk to in a company, the CFO might see a different thing that interests him or her the CEO might have oh God, I like that part, and the other and the CIO might have a whole different thing that interests him about the whole managed services. But they all have there's just many reasons again, and they all come down to either security, cost, or managing. Okay. The stuff, all their computer stuff and everything else, and having the flexibility to say, wait a minute, we're going to open up a new division in Canada, so we got to bring up some more servers. So we'll put them there, and when the division is open, they're going to have their own, and we'll shut that down, and then so they have all kind of flexibility as well. There are a lot of just incredibly wonderful, and it's going to cost them a lot less to pay to have managed services versus doing it in house.
Okay, so what size of a company, or to what size do they grow that they then decide that this is something that we need to consider for our business?
Oh my God, that's a great question. And I don't want to put a number or anything, but I'm going to say this: when a company's when they see that their IT is not, their internal IT is not able to give them what they need in terms of their applications or the flexibility they need or their cost, or so because I mean the numbers are going to be different for every kind of company. Now we have tried to focus over the years on Fortune 500 and government because that's where I grew up working in, so that's what I'm familiar and comfortable with. But I mean, even smaller companies, mid-sized companies, they all can benefit from it. And depending on what their needs are, they can not only put their server there, they can just buy space on a server that is sitting there. So there are kind of ways that they can slice this thing up in ways that just make it like, wait a minute, all I'm paying per month is this and that. So it's versus going out buying a server, putting the operating system on their applications, all the firewall stuff, everything, and then trying to maintain and manage it because it's constantly in the news how these folks are hacking into, we're not going to name names, but all kinds of systems all over the country and all over the world. And these folks that are being hacked, a lot of them have some pretty incredible security in place, and they're still getting hacked. Right. So there's some benefit to a company having this and putting it in a place where they have a much more industrial strength security in terms of physical security, software security, firewall, internet, all kinds of stuff going on that kind of help prevent people from hacking into their system. So. Yeah.
Now that helps me segue into also in talking about cloud, because I know some people are concerned about, putting data on the cloud, forget the whole online banking and all that, people being concerned about that. But, with putting their data on the cloud, because now they're hearing these large companies that have the dollars to protect all this data are not able to necessarily always protect the data. So for someone that's a smaller size company, how safe is it really? Should I go back to having my little computers in my building that may, if it gets broken into, it gets stolen, but nobody knows how to hack it at least, So what's going on with that, or what should businesses look at?
I mean, my take on all that is that cloud, again, when you're putting your data at a certified data center. It's not just somebody in their closet. It's these folks have really engineered this place, put all the layers of technology in terms of the security and everything else. And I won't ever use the term 100%, but the likelihood of them being hacked, like I won't name any company, but
some of the recent ones,
a company or a government agency or whatever, are not as, because first of all, I toured one here in Atlanta, one of the agencies we work with, and I am like, I've been around this stuff a long, but I am, this is amazing. I mean, the guy had to go up to the screen and it had to scan his eye before he could get in. He works there. And then do a thumbprint. I mean, they're not playing. Stuff
we've seen in movies,
right? And see, even the government, I saw the Office of Personnel Management, and I don't want to name them, but because I saw something last night on the news about how the Russians and Chinese are hacking to get names of people that they can try to compromise and make them become spies for Russia and China. And so, but Office of Personnel Management, a lot of these companies and agencies, they've got folks there who do it, but don't believe me, but they've got another mission. Their job is to do something else. The data center folks, their job is to protect your data. So the focus is very different. And that's all they do is figure out how to protect this. And if a company decides to at the data center, they have a way you can come in and like rent a room this size or 10 times bigger than this. You put a metal cage all around the whole thing. Only your guys and ladies have keys to come in and out of there.
Wow.
So the data center folks can't even go in there unless you give them blessing to do it. You got the keys on. So there's a way to really drill down and get a level of security that I think is not possible. I shouldn't say not possible, but it's very unlikely that if you own your own company, because you're Coca-Cola's in business to sell Coca-Colas and things like that, soft drinks. UPS wants to they're shipping packages. The IT is important, but the main purpose is what they do for a living. This data center, its main purpose is to manage and maintain and keep data secure. That's what they do.
But now, so are we talking about, because some of that's the kind of the physical part of getting into the service and all that, but what about and it's not even, I can't even say the lines coming in because so much of it is satellite and everything else, but them getting into the systems through the hacking, through the programming and all of that, or is it just more so about kind of what's resident? I'm thinking about encryption and things like that, what they put in place to keep some of these hackers out, or can they really?
Well, I mean, I have not heard of, and I've not heard of a data center being hacked. Now, that's just me. Now, I haven't. I mean, it may have happened, but I've not heard of it. And I'm just saying because they're not trying to, cause see, and another thing, they're very discreet. They won't go around and say we are managing some service for Coca-Cola.
Right.
They don't discuss it with anybody.
Yeah.
Whoever's stuff is there, that's between you and I.
Right.
And, you know, so
a lot of times you don't know what's in that building. Right.
And so it is they take great care in trying to keep their profile low. This one place I saw, they're right next door to a major police or sheriff's department office. I mean, the fences are like this. So if anybody ever tried to do some kind of terrorist thing, I mean, it's like 8,000 sheriffs next door. I mean, it'd be, you see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying there are all kinds of ways that they have, that they've looked at this thing to try to manage the risk, eliminate the risk, but their focus is just on keeping that data safe, making it accessible to whoever it belongs to. That's your company. Then you got to go look at it, whatever you're going to do it, and to manage servers if need be, or to sell space on servers, however they want to do it. And people understand that. And I would say, by and large, I would feel more safer with data there than even on my own server. I'm just because again, I don't have the money for the kind of security that they have. And, so it's
Wow, I'll tell you, and it's definitely interesting and to kind of hear about all this information and how do we protect it and all of that. Before we go, tell me, for a business, if I'm a business, what are the signs I need to look at that tell me I need to reach out to you and take advantage of your services?
Oh my God, another great question. How can I answer? Let me say it like this. I think. If you have to sit down and do an analysis on your own company, because we used to have expression for it. It's what your threshold for pain is, and by that I mean if you could stand to lose all your data and spend 3 months re-entering it all, if you could find it all, and it wouldn't disrupt your business, then you may not need us.
Wow.
But that would be a rare entity to find that.
Exactly.
And so I tell people they've got to sit down and be honest with themselves. Is everything working like? And I said, guy at my karate club. So he's talking about he had an employee that left and stole some of his data and trying to hack back in and all kind of other stuff. And there are all kinds of things we recommend people do in the beginning. I tell people, do not let people bring a disk or all the USBs, any of stuff to work. If you get emails, people you don't know, just delete them. Don't open them. I mean, it's all this. And I told the lady, I said, ma'am, don't just install the antivirus. You have to run it every day and update it, because it's not. And I said, even then, if you open the wrong thing, it's.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just see it all the time, and people just don't know, and you want to share with them. There are things you can do to minimize your risk, but none of it's perfect or bulletproof. But you can minimize it by again, restricting the kinds of sites your folks can go to during the day at work. Restricting them doing email, personal stuff during the day, because all these things, I people all the time send me stuff. Click on this, because once you click on it, that has infected your whole computer. We did work for a guy with the Olympics in 1996. Bless his heart. He had a $10,000 computer workstation. $10,000. It was so, and he said, I've got some kind of virus. I said, well, we'll look at it.
Okay.
And it erased his hard drive. I mean, he just went crazy. And he said, well, I got to get that data. I said, well, let me tell you how this works now. I said, just sit down. Let me explain this. We can recover. There's a place we deal with in Minnesota. They have a clean room. They can go in there with the white suits on, and I mean, they can recover that data. But you're gonna buy a new computer when they do it. I'm just telling you, it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
So you try to explain to them, there's always a way to fix anything. It's just a cost-benefit analysis you got to go through to say, wait a minute, is it worth $10,000 to do this, or can you get the data from your one of your coworkers, or kind of piece it together? If not, okay, but just understand that there's a cost. So we try to always, all the time, talk to our customers, and not in some kind of condescending way, but in a very open and honest way about things they can do to avoid having to involve us.
Right.
And because I want them to be happy and make money. If they're a corporation, if they're the government, I want them to be happy and serve whoever they're in business to serve, and have a great life, because some of this stuff, if it's not handled properly, it can be very stressful. I mean, so we try to help them avoid problems if we can.
That's great, because you go through so much more, and basically what we're saying is it's going to cost you less to invest up front and take the time and the energy and the expense to put things in place and get your security right and all of that than it will to take the chance of something happening. Just the stress of everything's down and I can't run my business. You lose so much more money in your business not being able to function for a day or so than you would by making those investments up front. And it sounds like it's great information, regardless of whether you're a Fortune 500 company or if you're a small mom and pop business, to put these things in place and kind of scale it based on what your need is.
And we've even seen folks now, a lot of people are going and getting, buying cloud services, to even store their photos from home, I mean, for their personal stuff and music, whatever else they want. So it is something that is not in the future. It is now, and they're thinking that probably the majority of businesses will have some kind of cloud interaction with their business. The majority of them, within the next 4 or 5 years. So it's here, and then people understand the cost of savings, and you're not having to hire 8 more people to manage all this. It's done for you, and you just can go out and look at your usage every month, or reallocate servers. I want this data moved over here. I don't want to use this anymore, and you can do this all from some kind of just one little
a dashboard.
Thank you so much. And it's fairly easy to use and deploy once you set it up. Yes, ma'am.
It's great too. I mean, we see it from the small business side of it, where companies like Microsoft, and they have Microsoft 365 and all this, where we can have that feel of a larger company. But like you said, we don't have to have a whole IT staff, and when software updates, we don't have to go through the drama of getting it all updated. And more of that is happening, especially as our devices get smaller and smaller. You don't have to run those programs resident on your device, but it's all moving up to the cloud.
But it's a friend of mine that just admonished me about getting a tablet, and he said you said stop. He said just get one. So don't He said because the beauty is that no matter where you are, at least in the U.S., you're near Wi-Fi somewhere, from McDonald's to to Starbucks. You just everywhere. You got Wi-Fi.
Right.
I said, he said you just could. He said Windows takes like a bit of time to boot up and shut down. He said this you just go and you hit it and you're there. And I said okay. So it's going to the cloud. And so all this technology and our phones, all this stuff. I mean, you get phone updates sometimes. You're like, I got the new version installed. Okay, thank you. I mean, and it's done.
Right.
So it is here where, and even some of the cars and other places. There's so much software in these in all our stuff now that they can update stuff to your car and the.
Right. It's amazing. It's a little scary, but it's amazing.
OnStar, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, ma'am.
We just got to go with it, you know. So now I know you have a bit of an international focus. So tell us what's next for your organization for GilWil.
Well, I am just very eager to start working internationally. I've gone on a couple of trade missions to Egypt and Jordan and Brazil, some other places, and I've got, once I feel more at ease with the whole scenario, I want to find partners in these other countries to team with and provide cloud and managed, and they've got the same technology we do. I think the one advantage the U.S. may have, and the more you travel, you really see it. Relatively speaking, we have a really stable country compared to a lot of places. I mean, it's really jumps out if you go to other places. That you could the data center over there is going to not be bombed tonight or whatever. I mean, it's just kind of, compared to other places, we have a stability that I think a lot of countries don't have, and that's one thing I want to offer to our partners in other countries, that look, you got the same stuff we do. We're not like wizards above you guys or anything, but what we do have is a stable environment that would allow your customers, because now with the cloud, I can be in Argentina and hit my data. As long as I get an IP address, I can hit that data. I don't care where I am. And so that removes a lot of it. And some of them are very sensitive now with all going on in the world about, I can keep my data, my important information, not only here in Brazil or in Egypt, but I can also keep it here in a data center in the United States or whatever. And now something happens here. And it's not just wars and terrorism and stuff. I mean, there are floods like in New Orleans, all kinds of things, weather, all kinds of things that can really destroy companies' data and not allow them to be able to even operate. And so you got to find a way to be redundant with your data and back up stuff and have stuff in multiple places so you can get to it and continue to work even when it's. I read about some of the guys at 9/11, some of the stock brokerage companies, and with all that happened, within a day they were like renting office space and on their laptops hitting the cloud and still work. I mean, it was sad with all was going on, but they had to continue to work. So. They just got them office space. They bought their tablets, laptops, and whatever they had to do, and they just, because it's in a cloud somewhere. All the data was somewhere else.
I love it, because I always say, have laptop will travel. So, and really have a tablet will travel. Sometimes I leave the laptop at home, like you said. We certainly appreciate you coming today to join us. Please, before we leave, make sure you tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I will do. My name is Barron Williams again. The company is the GilWil Group. Our phone number is 770-882-6900. Our email address is bwilliams@gilwilgroup.com. And the website is gilwilgroup.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander, your host with That's My Biz. We want to remind you, get a pad out and go back and watch this episode again. Make sure you tell others and companies that you know that can take advantage of these services that have been talking about maybe issues they've had with their data or concerns they've had. Make sure you watch this episode. Let them know about it so they can reach out to Mr. Williams and see how his company may be able to help them. We want to remind you that you can go back and watch this episode at www.bizlinks.tv. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/bizlinkstv. TV. Don't forget, don't just subscribe, but make sure that you give us some thumbs up and also some comments out there as well. But you'll get some wonderful reminders letting you know when new episodes are available. Also, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/BizLinksTV. Again, Pamela Alexander, your host, and with BizLinks TV Network, remember, we're exposing your business to the world.
10 years to learn the business. 10 years to make a name. 1 year on your own. It takes time to build a small business, but only 60 days to transform it with email marketing from Constant Contact. Sign up with Constant Contact and get 60 days of free email marketing to generate referrals, connect with clients, and build the business you've always wanted. Constant Contact. Start your 60-day free trial today.
Thank you for joining us. Today's show can be viewed on demand on our website at www.bizlinks.tv. If you are interested in having your products, services, or special cause showcased on our program, submit an inquiry to that'smybiz@bizlinks.tv. In addition, information on advertising and hosting your own show can be found on our website at bizlinks.tv.